Alright, the screens say I am live. Welcome to Mark My Words Live. I had so much fun going live last week. I'm going to try to at least make this a weekly thing. I am currently live on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and welcome to Mark My Words Live. I just wanted to come back on here and talk a little bit more about what's going on Mark My Words, and somebody's waving to me on Instagram. Howdy. So, first of all, I want to talk about this week's episode. And this week, I'm really excited about Christian Schur. We had a conversation all the way back in January. It was a great time. Him and I found that we had a ton in common, and it went much deeper than just doing the podcast and talking about entrepreneurship. We talked about cartoons from 50, 60 years ago, and it was a really fun conversation. Christian has a really unique path. He is younger than me, well, Christian I guess week is the founder of a company called Nonprofit. And it's a very unique idea because he's basically helping people who have like charitable idea, something that they want to do as a nonprofit, but maybe don't know how exactly to take it from idea to nonprofit and make it a reality. And Christian her is somebody who will help you to make your idea a reality. And I have never heard of somebody starting a company like that, and I'm just really blown away by the uniqueness of the idea, and really enjoyed just his personality and perspective and his passion for nonprofit. So if you think that being an entrepreneur is just being a coach, and I hate saying just being a coach because it takes talent to be a coach. You can't just be a coach. It takes a certain person to be a very good coach. But I say just being a coach because being an entrepreneur, after all the episodes I've done, I've learned is far more than, you know, just being a coach or a consultant. I mean, there's so many things that you can do, so many people with such an array of talent. So, when I meet somebody like Christian LaFleur, I am just blown away. Like, I would never think to start a company like Instant Nonprofit, but he has that background, he has that passion, and I loved hearing his story. And I'll even read a little bit off of his LinkedIn profile. So, he's building an impactful legacy without jeopardizing current assets and interests, all while leveraging modern tax strategies. And I don't know if that'll answer anybody's question, but that's what he does. He had a nonprofit called Yippee Ki Nonprofit Solutions, and yeah, I found this week's episode to just be really interesting. So go ahead, find that on my YouTube channel on Thursday. It'll be streaming everywhere, and I'm really excited for the new episode to come out. I also wanted to jump on here and talk just a little bit. I don't want to be on here for like a really long time like I was last week, but I really just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about yesterday. So I have a lot of episodes in the queue. I'm really far ahead on what I'm doing as far as putting out episodes, and that was partly by design, partly due to life. But I want to talk a bit about the two guests that I had yesterday. I don't usually do two episodes in one day because it's a lot of talking and it's just a lot to do on top of everything else I'm trying to do in life between career and everything else, like my day to day job. But I was really, I mean, it's the commonalities with entrepreneurs is something that I really started to uh, become more aware of as time has gone on, and I think I started to become more aware even before I hit record on my first podcast episode. But when I have guests, so I had Mary Henderson, who is a branding specialist, and let me just get her title here: personal branding and online. Oh boy, that did not take me where I wanted to go. So, personal branding and online business specialist. And I also had Joe Rocky on the show, and he like flips houses in addition to the podcasts that he does. And you would think on the surface, what would a guy like me have in common with people doing things that are completely different from a different part of the country or the world? And let me tell you, I find that as I meet some of these people, and it really resonated with me yesterday, just how much I feel like I have in common with entrepreneurs. It blows me away because I go through life, and just me personally, I've gone through my life just kind of feeling like a bit of an outsider, and I don't really very often feel like I fit into anything. But when it came to yesterday, and just when it comes to interacting with entrepreneurs and meeting them and kind of understanding what drives them, what motivates them, what their thought processes are, it makes me realize that I'm not as alone as I think I am. I have a lot more in common with people than I even realize. And I think when I pull myself away, and this is again not to knock being a part of a corporation, but when I pull myself away from that life that I knew for so many years, and now kind of just working from home for a company and really working on trying to get my own podcast and my own interests going, I'm really starting to learn that I have a lot more in common with people out there than I ever knew. And sometimes it just takes for me to really just have that one on one conversation. And I know that I'm a person who, while I love presenting to people, and that even includes going to, like, I don't know, being in an office or speaking at a meeting, or I've never actually done like a speaking event, so I can't speak to that. But there's something about doing an organized speaking event and just speaking my truth and authenticity rather than just, trying to interact in a group or do something that I'm not like spearheading. There's something about that, the difference between something like this and something like that just really brings out the best in me and really brings out my true self. And for me, it's something that I'm just way more comfortable doing than anything else. And there's something about it that just really brings out the best in me. So, not really sure I remember quite where I was going with that, but I feel like I lost my train of thought a little bit on that topic. But I just really enjoy meeting these people who kind of have the same mindset and are looking to make an impact beyond just somebody else's dream. And let me just say, there is nothing at all wrong with working towards somebody else's dream. There is absolutely nothing wrong with doing that, with being that. I think a good percentage of us at some point in our lives spend time doing that. We spend time working towards somebody else's dream. I don't think there are a whole lot of us who come right out of college or right out of high school or whatever and have ideas on how to be an entrepreneur or what they want to do as an entrepreneur. And I have met a few people. I've had at least one or two people on my show who have just kind of they're that much in touch with themselves that they just know and they go for it, and it's really inspiring to me. And those are people who they don't even necessarily know that much about what it's like to work your whole life for somebody else's dream and to have all these experiences working in an office and inner office politics and all that stuff. And I envy those people very much, but I'm also a little bit about getting the most out of life and having all those experiences or as many as you can. But the truth is, we all walk a different path. I mean, we're all different. We all, walk a different road in life for a reason. So, but that's just me. Um, but anyway, getting to the point, I feel like it's really easy to do 30 minutes of this, and maybe that in itself tells me that I have more of a entrepreneurial spirit and belong doing things like this than I ever realized, because I've already gone over 13 minutes, and I feel like I could just go forever, which I swear I'm not going to do. But yesterday, just talking to Mary Henderson and just hearing about how her parents kind of impacted her path, where she had a very like performer mindset and wanted to go down that path, but her parents were like, that's not a practical path. We didn't raise you to go down a path where you're a singer or an entertainer. We raised you to do something a little more practical than that. And I could really relate to that because that mindset really shaped my own life and my path, because I wound up doing things growing up that I didn't necessarily really want to do. And I learned from those experiences that You gotta do what's in your heart and in your mind and what your gut is telling you. Listen to your gut and do what your gut is telling you because your gut more than likely is steering you in the direction that you need to go in. And I finally learned that once I got a few years into college and I'm majoring in Lord knows what, if I even had a major at that point. I knew what I wanted to major in, but I learned that, this is not what I want to be doing. I don't have the mind to do something mathematical. I don't have the interest in doing some of these other things. My interest was to do television production, and I guess, I'm not here to talk trash on my parents. I'm just going to say one of my parents did not see it that way and discouraged me from pursuing what I wanted to do. And what I told them, look, this is what I want to do. Like, I didn't even really have an option to pick my major until after I dropped out of school, and it was like, okay, he's not happy. We need to let him do what he wants to do. And from there, I just more and more kind of took control of my life. But that was like a real commonality there, and I really kind of saw in her path. Like, I know she ran into a situation later on where, again, she, much like me, is a little more thinking outside of the box and is in a position of influence where she wants to coach and mentor and manage her staff and her projects how she sees fit. And I remember when I don't really know if I want to talk too openly about my past and career path, but there came a point where I, in my journey, was placed in a really cool position in management. I loved the job, but I always felt like a bit of an outsider, and I I really like thought outside of the box, and I'm never short on ideas on how to improve and how to get better. And much like this year, I have committed myself to being better and doing things like Mark My Words live, which I hope I continue to do at least once a week. And I've added an intro and outro to my podcast. I mean, I'm constantly looking for ways to do better and be better. And that's just how I'm wired. And I feel like I had a bit of an unconventional perspective, and I don't know if that perspective was always really like embraced, but I know that the people who were reporting to me really liked the energy and they liked what I was bringing. And when all was said and done, that's what really mattered to me more than anything. So I felt, I don't say all that. Again, not really here to criticize anybody or talk bad. I mean, life is life, and life works out the way it works out for a reason. And perhaps even though I may have felt like I had the talent and the perspective and this, that, and the other thing to really add to that environment, maybe although the experience was really good for me and really enriched my life, because I do think that without that experience, there is no Mark My Words live, there's no Mark My Words, there's no me pursuing any of this. I think that experience really injected a lot of confidence in me and really kind of helped propel me to what I'm doing now. So I don't talk bad on that experience at all, but I did relate to her perspective when I talked to her, and I really just felt a connection. And just to talk a little bit about Joe Rocky, who I can't wait for that episode to come out. A lot of the same thing, a lot of his thought process of just thinking on the fly and learning on the fly, and that's a lot of what I've done with entrepreneurship and podcasting, and not everybody has the courage to take that approach, and I really found it inspiring to hear how he built up his businesses and how he was willing to actually put himself out there with no construction experience or home improvement experience, putting himself out there and, just having ups and downs and learning about his craft rather than becoming a construction worker and learning that way. He learned on the fly to run this business, and I see a lot of that spirit in myself. And I think coming off of yesterday, I almost did all this last night, but I was all talked out by them, frankly. But coming into today, I really just wanted to talk a bit about just the connection that I get and the camaraderie I feel with entrepreneurs and those that I have interviewed and crossed paths with. And it's inspiring me to really think about, okay, because I've been kind of like tiptoeing my way through all of this because I don't know exactly where my life is heading. I don't know where I'm going to be or what I'm going to be doing in 5 years, but I do know where I'm at now. And where I'm at now is that I have the time and the resources and the energy to do things like going live on 3 different platforms. And you see me looking down, I'm looking down at the Instagram peeps here. I got my phone here on the table, and I have LinkedIn and YouTube staring right at me here. So, trying to make sure that people that are watching on Instagram know that I'm actually talking to them. So, with that being said, I really wanted to do this last night, but I am here tonight and I really just wanted to, again, this is all partly informational, partly uh, a huge 20 ish, possibly 30-minute advertisement of Mark My Words. And, episode 2 coming out Thursday. I actually should also talk about solo episodes. So I started doing some solo episodes last year where I have a theme for the episode and I just kind of spend like 7 to 10 minutes or so talking about that theme and my thoughts on it. And I'm gonna look to put one of those out real soon. I thought I might do it today. I might wind up doing it tomorrow or maybe over the weekend. I don't know. I got a few other ideas for recordings to do, and it's something I love doing. I love just as much as I like having guests and I love talking with them. I also like just kind of taking a few minutes to share my own perspective and my own thoughts. And that is something that I've been trying to do. As okay, I thought for a second there I didn't wave at this person. I did wave at him. Okay. So I've been trying to put together a few ideas for solo episodes where I can share my thoughts and wisdom on a topic that I may not cover on a regular episode or may not get enough time to elaborate on. So I'm using that as an opportunity to kind of go a little deeper on myself than I normally would. Maybe to help people get to know me a little bit better, which could also be a good idea for an episode. If I just took 10 minutes to talk about, I don't know, what my favorite movies are or whatever. That's an idea right here on the spot. I told you guys that I love coming up with ideas and I can sometimes overdo it on the ideas, but that's an idea. That's something I might actually do. So, with that all being said, I've now gone 26 minutes and I told myself I wasn't going to go as long as I did last week. I'm getting a little close to that now. So I'm going to try to wrap by the 30-minute mark here. So, and there is Serena. Hello, Serena. So I'm going to try to wrap this up here in the next few minutes and just say Season 3, Episode 2 with Christian LaFleur is coming very soon on Thursday. Check it out. It's a great, fun conversation, and you'll learn a lot about what he does. It's a nonprofit, and he helps people to start nonprofit organizations. A really fascinating episode, really fascinating idea for a business. So check that out coming this Thursday. Solo episodes of Mark My Words are back. I'm recording them and they will be coming very, very soon. Hopefully, sometime, at least one this week, I'm hoping to put out. I have some finishing touches to put on. So, if not this week, hopefully next week, I'll start releasing maybe one or two a week. And that, I think, is it. So, thank you, Serena, for the well wishes on Instagram. I appreciate it. And yeah, thank you, everybody, for joining and for checking out the podcast. If you've listened to the new season, previous seasons, I thank you very much. And there will be more to come. Hopefully, you'll be seeing more of me on social media in general. And I think that is about it. So, thanks for tuning in, and I will hopefully be back doing another Mark My Words live soon. I'm really trying to hold myself up to being a bit more consistent with all this, so hopefully I'll be back soon. And if you're following me on social media, which I guess you would if you're tuned into Instagram or LinkedIn. But stay tuned for a little sneak peek from this week's episode. That'll be coming very soon. And hopefully, much like the Mark My Words solo episodes, you'll be seeing more of that type of content on social media. So, I think that's all I have. I'm gonna go make dinner, continue working, and enjoy my night. So, everybody, enjoy your night. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. I have episodes lined up every Thursday for the rest of the year at least, and hoping to go beyond that. So just if you like what I'm doing, tune in every Thursday. Go find me on YouTube. Go find me on your favorite audio streaming platform and check it out. Tell me what you like, what you hate. I mean, just tell me what you think. And also, I keep rambling on right at the 30-minute mark. I have something called a pod page as well. If you go to podpage.com and just look up Mark My Words, Mark Schmidt, you can find my page and you can also send me a voicemail, which would be really awesome. Just you can ask me a question, you can give me feedback, whatever you want to do. I would love that because I will definitely share that either doing Mark My Words live or I will share it on the show. So definitely give me feedback if you have any. I'd love to hear it. And you can go to my pod page. That's podpage.com. Mark Schmidt, Mark My Words. Just come find me and tell me what your thoughts are. And I know my thoughts right now are to say goodbye, thank you, and I will see you around. Bye for now.